Growing up, my favorite thing to do was play dress up. More specifically, in my mom's high heels and dresses. My mother would watch me as I walked down the runway of her halls in her dresses. But then, my life began to change when my mom started asking me for her dresses and her high heels back for Saturday nights, for dates. It felt like my life was changing and not for the better. What was once a life where I meant everything to my mother, I had to share it with other people. And at first, I was very resistant to this change. But I had to come to embrace the fact that now I have two people who love me very much, my mother and my stepfather, who I simply call Dad, not stepdad. Although life has changed and I'm very happy now, society still has a negative connotation when it comes to single-parent households. By taking out the myths of single parents, the stereotypes will lessen over time. By stopping the myths, we will be able to clearly understand the vulnerability single parents and children of single parents have. Like me. A 2004 American Academy of Pediatrics article states more than 1/4 of all children in the United States live with just single-parent families, meaning 25% of all children are dealing with the misinformed myths in their daily lives. We should stop spreading myths about single parents. Instead, we should put ourselves in other shoes. First, we will slightly address and examine causes of damaging misconceptions regarding single parents. Then we will put on some high heels while describing the effects. And finally, we'll slap on some solution lipstick on how to fix this by explaining the truth out of the myths. Let's start off by taking a look at some of the causes behind why misconceptions regarding single-parent households continue to exist. First, media's representation is often biased. And second, people buy into the hype. Primarily, in today's media, single parents come off as repulsive. For example, in the television series Teen Mom, we are shown that teenage girls who are struggling with school and how to take care of a baby. And after a couple of seasons, the show built into some new drama. The teenage girls we see now don't exhibit as much time with their babies and are often single. This TV series that was originally made for teaching teenagers lessons on why not to become a parent at a young age changed when all the producers would display was partying, arguing, and teenagers getting into trouble. Media plays a huge role in people's lives, and this is one show where single-parent households are shown in such a horrible light. The nonprofit news internet service, Light Side News, states in an article in January of 2013 that today 1/3 of American children, a total of 15 million, are being raised without a father. And 5 million more are being raised without a mother. Meaning 20 million kids have the chance to witness this type of media representation of their home lives. Next, many people don't realize that the facts on television, radio ads, and magazines are honestly rarely ever true. I used to always believe everything I heard or read because we forget that society will do whatever it takes to sell advertising. But it doesn't matter whether they lie or tell the truth. People always still tend to believe it. MTV News points out in an article in January 2007 that single mom Britney Spears admits to being far from perfect. She also explains that it's hard for her to see that the paparazzi is over-exaggerating and dramatizing her every move, wishing that the press would show both halves of a story and not just one. It's devastating to think that entering someone's private life to show their bad side is a good thing. But we love to watch a train wreck and buy into the hype. After looking at the causes, we must next explore the devastating effects. First, those who come from single-parent households are emotionally harmed by these stereotypes. And second, division is created within our society. Initially, children of one-parent households are often in trouble when it comes to shooting down these myths. Like how a friend assumes they live in poverty, when in reality they don't. Mass media, social networking, and many other websites point out the flaws. And in turn, stereotypes and these myths harm kids who come from single-parent households, and they begin to feel hurt, lost, and broken. These children don't expect their friends to tell them myths that their parents are on welfare or in debt. Children begin to feel hurt and upset with the facts. Next, the only division we should care about is the kind that we do in math class. The fact that single-parent children are beginning to feel divided from children who have two parents in their home, they begin to feel alone. These children shouldn't feel divided, they should all come together as one whole. Doctor of Psychology, Sylvia Rim, explains that most children are shocked and surprised when their parents split up. It's hard for children to have to deal with the peers judging their family, especially if they're already having to come to terms with a divorce or death. I hurt emotionally when friends of mine would point out myths about having a single mother, not realizing that I came from one. But in reality, it saddens me to realize that people really do judge a book by its cover. Finally, after looking at the causes and effects, we will discover some solutions. First, we all at some point must speak up. In this case, we need more people to stand up for children whose single-parent households are being talked badly about. Everyone has flaws. Jessica Ashley, an author of a blog for single parents, states in 2013 that she learned that when it comes to motherhood, you don't choose the path you go down. It's unexpected. Jessica explains she has never been happier than the life she lives now. Single-parent households are parents who work hard and try their best to get everything right for their kids. And if we speak up, we can let people know the correct information is way better than relying on a myth. Nobody should be judged just because a child has one parent, so don't allow anyone to tell them how they should feel about their family. Many modern role models came from single-parent households, like Michael Phelps, Mariah Carey, and Julia Roberts. In fact, Kevin Durant, professional basketball player of the Oklahoma City Thunder, receives a special award for the NBA's MVP of 2013-2014. He tells his mother in his inspirational speech when he receives his award, "You made us believe. You kept us off the streets. You put food on our tables, clothes on our backs. When we didn't eat, you made sure you ate." I was born and raised in a single-parent household with my sister. I'm proud to say that my mother was never in debt, she was never on food stamps, and she was never on welfare. My mother worked hard, very hard through many trials and tribulations, but in the end, her daughters were financially and emotionally stable. But even still, debt, food stamps, welfare doesn't mean children aren't loved. Before believing one of the many myths of single parents that are out there, take the opportunity to get to know a single parent or a single parent's child. And you just might be surprised at how happy, well-mannered, well-educated they may be. By putting ourselves in others' shoes, we now understand that single-parent households and dual-parent households aren't as different as they may seem. Today we have pointed out the causes why single-parent households by separation or death. We explored the effects on how the misconceptions affect the single parents themselves or the single parent's child. And finally, we have embraced some solutions. I'm proud to say my single-parent household wasn't so different from my new dual-parent household. My mom continues to strive to be that important role model and pushes me to greatness. So while I might not be playing dress-up anytime soon, I will be living a life with two great people who love me.